A SWOT statement. So SWOT is a business term, and it is the acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And then you want to look at gaps in your understanding. One of the major gaps in your understanding is always going to be the fact that you've been in prison for for many many years, and so you don't have a house, you don't have clothes, you don't have food, you don't have a sustainable way of making sure that uh, you meet your needs you meet your needs. And so then the gaps in your understanding is always going to be financial. It could also mean that you did not learn how to stay with something for a long time. To you, your gaps in understanding could be about patience, lack of patience, getting into something too quickly, hastiness, right? That could be a gap in your and the gap is that everything takes time, and just because you may be in a hurry doesn't mean that the situation is going to respond to you just because you're in a hurry. Some things just take time. If you are cooking a cake, the outside of the cake is going to look like it's done. It's going to brown quicker than the inside. But if you take a fork and you stick it in the middle of the cake, you're going to realize it's not done. That's the same thing with your life. There are some decisions that require that you can get immediate gratification without major consequence. And then there are some decisions that are just going to take time. That's just what it is. If you're going to take a class usually for college work is going to be 16 weeks, a course. For vocational work, it depends on the semester. It depends on the year. It depends on the program, right? But a lot of times, core classes within an post high school environment will always be 8, 10, 13, 16 weeks, right? So then you start it off, you set the goal to complete the class at the beginning of the semester. And then every step along the way, you are doing everything you need to do to get to the end of the goal, which is completion. And then, of course, you need to set the goal to pass the class. Passing is always at 70. But if you want to achieve higher than that, then you set a goal for 80, 90, right? And so that could be the gaps in your understanding that uh, the reason why you keep going back and forth is because you keep getting impatient with whatever process you are enduring in that time. So then now look at your strengths. What are you really good at? It can be something academic. It can be something, a gift. It can be anything. What are your strengths? So if you write well, if you like math, if you're a great communicator, you are a great storyteller, you have a way of telling something, explaining something, or you always like history, you can read something quickly and then be able to explain it. Whatever it is, you may be great at cars, you may be great at reading people, that could be your strength. So then your weaknesses is going to be anything you've struggled with. A weakness for a person who keeps going back and forth into prison is the fact that he keeps going back and forth into prison, and that he thinks prison is the right environment for him to sustain himself as a person. But the weakness truly is that he doesn't have an adult mentality about life. So then the opportunity is going to be to resolve any weakness that you have. And and in this case, if you're struggling with adulthood and you don't know how to be an adult, then that's going to be the opportunity to resolve that weakness. Then threats are always your thinking, your mindset. Threats are not always as external as we like to believe them to be. Nobody makes you do anything. You still have a free will choice to make whatever decision you are making, to decide whatever it is you are deciding. So then, if you know that you are the biggest threat to yourself, you need to begin looking at yourself, thinking about who you are as an individual and who you want to become going forward. So create a SWOT statement. All right. So now that you've gotten to the end, this is you can visit, subscribe, and follow. My website is reginayfavors.com. Then you can visit my YouTube channel, youtube.com// at Regina Y Favors. And then I have an author store, reginayfavorsauthor.com. I also have other types of websites as well. So thank you very much for listening.